Now, Cam Newton's been talked about a lot from last season to this season, and following that upset loss to the Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football, is Cam Newton on his way out, Jordan?
Let me ask you something, Bradley. What's the most overpowered play in football that has the highest conversion rate in short yardage situations?
QB sneak?
QB sneak. So on Thursday, the Carolina Panthers had the opportunity on fourth down and ones, third down and ones to execute a QB sneak multiple times. Obviously, we saw in the fourth quarter of the game with 2 minutes left, they elected to run the fake Philly special and out of the Wildcat to Christian McCaffrey rather than sneak it with their 6'5", 240-pound quarterback. Obviously, they had the blown-up option play at midfield. Why wouldn't they just sneak it? Now, let me tell you why they wouldn't just sneak it. Cam is clearly hurt. Clearly. He had that shoulder surgery in the offseason. He had a left ankle injury during training camp. The dude is clearly hurt. Now, Cam, you have to understand this. Cam, over the course of his NFL career, has been an electrifying player to watch, but he's never been an accurate passer. So when we saw Cam throw for 24 for 50 the other night and complete 48% of his passes, as bad as that is, it's like, I'm not trying to make an excuse for Cam Newton to have the performance that he had, because quite frankly, it was abysmal. It was embarrassing. He should be ashamed of himself. But Cam is not an accurate passer. That's not what he's going to do for you to win games. When he won the MVP, he had 14 rushing touchdowns. I believe that tied the record with Michael Vick for more than any NFL quarterback, more than quarterbacks in NFL history in an individual season. Obviously, he had an excellent year. He's a superstar athlete, but the criticism of Cam Newton has always been he cannot throw the ball accurately downfield. Now, I think it's better than 48%, obviously, but last night, or excuse me, on Thursday night, it was clear that it wasn't an issue of talent. The dude's playing hurt. He can play better than that. I don't think he's an excellent thrower of the football, but the dude's playing hurt.
Well, here's the thing, is, like you said, Cam Newton's never been known for his accurate passing. And he's had all these injuries. But at this point of his career, being so fragile as he is, his new job and his new role really is, or should be, to sit in the pocket and complete his passes. And the Panthers talked all offseason about changing his throwing motion, making sure he's healthy, this and that. Look, at this stage of the guy's career, you're not changing his throwing motion. The guy's throwing the ball how he throws the ball.
He's 30 years old.
Exactly. And he's seen a lot in his career, but here's the other problem with Cam Newton. You know, he has to be a leader. And the thing with Cam Newton is he's very influenced by, he's a very emotional guy. If they're down 20, Cam Newton looks like he gives up. We saw that Thursday night against Tampa Bay.
Saw it in the Super Bowl when he wouldn't climb on the fumble.
Exactly. He jumped away from the fumble in the Super Bowl. But if they're winning by 20, he'll run in the end zone, he'll give you a little Superman, and that's not what leaders are made of. And that's not what Cam Newton should be. And he's on his way out now because he's spent the early parts of his career, taking everything on himself and being that leader on the field. Not necessarily off the field, but being that leader on the field by rushing and getting in the end zone and honestly being a more accurate passer than he is now. But now that he's so fragile and he can't be the guy he used to be, he's forced to try to be a normal pocket-standing quarterback, and that's just not who he's made to be, and that takes a toll on him injury-wise. He's not a leader as he should be, and it also falls on the Panthers' game plan and how they're trying to use Cam Newton this year so far, because we know Christian McCaffrey's a beast. We know that. So why do they completely abandon the ground game or the short third down throws or a screen or something like that? Why do they abandon all those types of plays to Christian McCaffrey when he's Cam Newton's biggest ally on that field? And they put the game literally in the hands of Cam Newton, and he crumbles in those situations. We saw it in the Super Bowl, and we see it time and time and again when you visually see like the Panthers are out to lose this game. We saw it Thursday night, and Cam Newton just gets so unmotivated and uninterested in the game, and that's not what a leader's made of. And he's not built for what they're asking of him this year. And that's the problem with Cam Newton. So yes, he is on his way out because the injuries and mentally everything's taken a toll on him, and he simply can't be the guy he used to be or wants to be.
I agree with that. There's only one thing I would point out in your argument about Cam Newton. When you say Cam Newton's on his way out, I agree with you in a sense that Cam Newton will never win another NFL MVP, and he'll never have a season like he did in 2015, like where he's an MVP candidate.
No way he ever even sees a Super Bowl again.
I agree with you, but I think Cam can make the playoffs again in his career. I think Cam can win a playoff game in his career. I just don't see any which way, no matter what they do for Cam Newton offensively to provide weapons around him. They got him DJ Moore in the draft, obviously. He is Christian McCaffrey. He is the veteran tight end in Greg Olsen. No matter what they do to provide Cam the requisite weapons to make a playoff run, including an excellent defense, I just don't think Cam is good enough anymore to lead that team to the Super Bowl. I don't.
Yeah, I agree
now,
with that.
I think Cam is good enough to win a playoff game. I think Cam's good enough to go 10-6 or 11-5, and that's a great accomplishment because I think Cam is an excellent football player and could be headed to Canton one day. But the fact that Cam has taken a dip so much to the point where just 3 or 4 years ago we were talking about him in the same breath as Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees at the MVP level, and now it's like, is Cam a top 10 quarterback? I agree with you that he's taken a dip, but I do believe Cam will compete, and Cam will be in the playoffs multiple more times before the end of his career.
See, the problem is, though, if and when the Panthers make it back to the playoffs with Cam Newton, he's not going to be the same Cam Newton that we've seen in years past. He's going to be trying to take on this new role of a pocket passer, getting the ball around, and the question is, will he be able to do that? Because we've talked, just now about how inaccurate of a passer he is, and he's not a pocket quarterback. He's not just going to sit there and wait for a pass. He's going to try and he's going to try to scramble with his legs, get outside. That leads to more injuries, more inaccurate throws, all that kind of stuff. And quite frankly, he doesn't look ready to even take on that role as a pocket passer, that they want him to be at this point of his career. And that's what concerns me, is he doesn't seem ready to take on a new or different responsibility.
I agree with you. It's just hard to see such a great player at one point not just look the same as he used to. And obviously he doesn't look the same as he used to, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt and just say that he is hurt, because he is definitely playing hurt. He'd be better than that. He'd be better than what he was on Thursday night. I agree, he's not the same, and I don't think he will be ever again, but he's better than what Thursday night showed.